Hello.
Hey, Jess. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Appreciate y'all jumping on today.
So, thank you so much for folks who are just joining us out of the
Mhm.
ether of the internet and without any context. What are we doing?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so today, everyone, we are going to be diving into what Netlify does and what we can do with Netlify in order to use this word deploy our applications onto the internet.
Yeah. And for wider context, so at the moment, I'm running a free web development bootcamp. If we
Mhm.
could link you to that, it's low stress. And
Yes.
Couchbase, you all have been lovely enough to help add these partner sessions to answer some of the really big questions that our learners bring us. Because we've run 6 of these now. I might be lying.
Mhm.
But our learners bring us the same questions year after year, and things like, "Hey, where do I write my code
Mhm.
when I'm not in a tutorial environment?" And we went and got VS Code on Monday.
Yep.
And then like, "Hey, how do I save my work? What is version control? How do I do that?" Which
Mm.
got to GitHub. We signed up for GitHub yesterday. And the biggest question that's the hardest to fit into teaching in a boot camp in a tutorial environment is, "Hey, how do I put my how do I where how my
Yes.
files on my computer to the internet?"
Yep.
And this usually comes up when we talk about images. So folks are like, "Hey, how do I put the image from my computer onto the internet?" But I think
Mhm.
websites more generally. And you use the word deploy. Is this what we're
Yeah.
gonna use for my push the website?
That's exactly it. So that's the oof oof push.
The
So
push.
in software engineering, a lot of times folk call that deploying something either to the internet, or sometimes when you're working for an enterprise company, they say deploying it to production. But these are terms
Ooh.
that you'll learn as you continue to develop. But deploying just means, just like you said, Jess, just pushing your code up to the internet, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
I think we could do and there's like, the same way there's a bunch of different text editors or there's a bunch of different version control options, I think there's very
Mhm.
likely a bunch of different ways to deploy this.
Yes, there are so many.
Me in my heart, I will always remain a let's use FTP, which is a file transfer protocol,
Mm,
which further cements my spiritual refusal to leave the 90s.
I love it.
They're coming back again, the
They
90s.
are.
FTP has never gone away.
Yeah.
But Netlify is very flashy and modern.
Mhm.
So I will just natter on about the bad old days all day, but yeah, shall we shall we
Yeah.
try and set this up?
Let's set this up, everyone. Okay, so when we are new to Netlify, so we can go to, and I'm going to add this to the stream. Ta-da!
Ah, you are a gift.
We love it. Okay, so remember, everyone, when we're searching for things, we want to look for the name of the particular product or website that we're looking for. So we can just put in netlify.com into our browser, netlify.com, and it brings us home.
Everything's fine.
Hmm. That's right. So
Huh.
this all looks really beautiful. This is Netlify's landing page. But what we're looking to do is not get into any platform or solutions or integrations or anything, but specifically we're just trying to first sign up for a Netlify account. Number one.
Okay, so we don't have to, deploy all the things. We're just gonna go get a Netlify account.
Exactly. Really quick and easy.
This is gonna cost us a lot of money?
No, it's actually going to be free.
Okay.
Yeah, always free here.
And do you know what? This is sort of a spoiler for the future of development, but that's the
Mhm.
thing, isn't it? Like, development tools are either free or super heckin' expensive.
Yes, that's right.
So we're gonna stay on the free side for as long as we can. When they get super heckin' expensive, hopefully your boss is gonna be paying for them.
Exactly. That's the goal here, always. Cool. Alrighty. So I will jump on over. I'm going to go to this big blue sign up button right here. Click it.
Oh.
And there's so many different options that we can do. I'll make this bigger so folk can see. So you can either sign up to, here's that word again, deploy. And remember, deploy just means to push it to the internet. Sign up to deploy your project. So we can either sign up with GitHub, which was the account that we made yesterday, or we can sign up with this thing called GitLab, which is another product that's
Which is
a little
pretty
bit
much the
smaller.
same thing as GitHub.
Yeah, they're similar. They're similar products.
Guess what? Guess what about Bitbucket, y'all?
And then there's Bitbucket, which is a very similar product as well as GitHub. So, or you can sign up with your email. And in this case, we're going to go with the process of signing up with your email. So we're going to press here. And so here, everyone, you would put in your email. You can use the same email that you used for GitHub, or you can use a different one. But it's completely up to you. And so you'd input your email here and then input whatever password you want to do.
Which should be unique.
Remember, we don't want to get hacked, so make sure that your passwords are different for all of your websites and accounts. And then you press sign up right down here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let me just highlight this right here. GitLab is super cool because it's open source. We love open source out here. Free and accessible software for everyone. Open source is the way. So
also, a buddy of mine, like down the street, works at GitLab, so I can't.
Nice.
He's got a very cute dog.
Ooh, I love it.
Starlight points out that you could run your own Git like a nerd, and I'm going to be mean to you because I know you can deal with me being mean to you, Starlight. We've had like several talks about you not bringing advanced level stuff to the babbies. Like you can run your own Git. Almost everybody watching this and signing up for Netlify for the first time or GitHub for the first time, maybe next year. Like this is do it in 6 months. Personally, I have been doing computer stuff for 100,000 years, and I also don't run my own Git. So it is my favorite kind of correct, which is technically correct.
Exactly. I love it. Perfect. Okay, so once you press sign up, everyone, you should get an email that comes into your email that asks you to verify your account from netlify.com. And so you're going to press that verify button in your email, and it should take you back eventually. And we're going to close out to this and close out to this one. It should take you to this big dashboard within Netlify once you have verified and you're in. Okay. So,
and we're going to skip the emailing back and forth bit. We'll just wait. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So now this might look a little scary, but don't worry. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, because this does look scary.
Yes, don't worry. I got you. So there's a lot of things here, but what you really want to focus on is on this section right here that says sites. Okay. And what we want to do is yes, made a sound in my soul. I completely agree. What we want to do here is to add a new site. So remember, go ahead, Jess.
Oh, no, I'm just following along. Okay.
Perfect. Okay. So remember the site that we made yesterday. Let me see if I could bring that up. Yeah. The site where we said, hi, Bad Website Club and Couchbase with a heart. So that site, we want to actually now do the push, the deploy onto Netlify. So we can actually like give someone a URL, and that URL will have the code that we just wrote, the website that we just
can put
built.
This on the internet.
Yes, you can. You can put this on the internet like right now. So really,
that sounds
really
like an awful lot of power.
It's a lot of power, and it's actually a lot of power in just a couple clicks, which is really, really awesome.
Oh, if we do this really fast, we could just go take naps.
That'd be nice, right? Okay, let's get into it, y'all. So we're going to go over here to this add new site button. So I'm going to click it. Boop. And then see, they ask you a couple questions. So do you want to import an existing project, start from a template, or deploy manually? So we do have an existing project, or we can deploy manually. Let me see what each of these does really quick.
Yeah, because I'm seeing some little tiny logos next to these. So I see that GitHub logo again, which is an octa cat, which is chaotic. The GitLab one, which is a origami fox. And the Bitbucket one, which blessedly is a bucket.
Exactly. Which is perfect.
Right?
Or sending, I don't even know what this little icon is over here. It's a little
shaded
out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a little.
Who's
I don't think so. GitLab is right here.
Is that the X? Is that the no?
It's a something. I can't
push
even
it, push it, do it.
Okay. Ooh, lots of options. Okay.
Oh,
Excellent.
this just shows a
Oh, Azure demo.
Azure.
Yep.
Azure? Azure? Azure?
Yep,
Azure?
yeah, Azure.
Azure.
So now we're in. So we can say, okay, now let's deploy our project. So again, they give you so many different options that you can use in order to deploy your project. However, in this particular instance, and you can do either one, I know we have a GitHub account. And remember, when you deploy with GitHub, it's just going to tell you to put in your GitHub username and password so that now GitHub is talking to Netlify and they can share code between each other. So
For those of you who've already watched the video from today, we
mhm.
talked about, so we've already made an HTML. Today we made a CSS file and let them talk to each other. Same kind of vibe. So until you let
Yes,
them know what the other one's doing, they
that's right.
can't really do any work together.
Exactly. That's correct. So they always got to talk to each other in order to share resources or share things. It's
But
like
at the
being on a
same
team.
time, you never
Yeah.
want to connect accounts to something that you don't trust.
No, never.
Yeah.
So if we trust GitHub, which is a massive big corporation that has lots of people who actually trust it, and then Netlify, same thing, big organization that has lots of folk who
I mean,
trust it.
GitHub already has our code, and we want
That's right.
Netlify to have our code. So we could
That's right.
probably try it this way and see how it works.
Right. So if we were to do this deploy with GitHub button, then let's see the process. It asks you. So in this moment, they've actually marked us as spam. That's okay. That's okay. And that's just because we had used a 10-minute email. Remember last time we used a 10-minute email in order to create our GitHub. So this should not happen to you because you're using a permanent email. But Netlify and GitHub, they have really high security because they don't want anyone making any fake accounts or anything like that, even if it's just for demonstration purposes. So in this aspect, we're not going to do the connect through GitHub version. We're going to exit this out. We're just going to do this get started another way down here. So that
Yeah.
is the try Netlify drop or choose a template.
Let's see if
So
they'll let us do those.
yeah.
What's a template feel like?
Ooh, what does a template feel like? Let's see. Let's click and let's open. Choose a template. Oh, this is fancy.
No.
Wow.
So if you didn't want to write HTML,
Mm-hmm.
or if you wanted to write HTML and fork it, and
Yes.
we're previewing some things we'll learn in about Git next week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Oh, hello,
Hi,
Ahmad.
how are you?
So, oh, hello.
See?
We're gonna have a super chill time. So we could try this, but I want our website up.
Exactly. So we're gonna go back
There's
actually.
the
So I'm gonna go
temptation to pick these starters. Yeah, and
they're
actually, if
real
we have
fancy.
time,
Yeah.
we might show off my favorite place to fork starters.
Ooh,
Um,
good point.
I know we're doing Netlify, but, like, someday and we do you know what? We'll see if we can bully somebody from the team because I love Glitch for remixable projects.
Oh,
It's like a
glitch is the best.
very webby nope, it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like GitHub and TikTok had a
Mhm.
baby,
Oh,
but they've
that's
gone
cute.
for a '90s aesthetic. Very
It's
juicy.
really awesome. Yeah, support Glitch, y'all. Glitch is the best. We use it all the time as well, just for like little being able to what they call spin up little projects, but that just means like just being able to show little projects to each other. Just like Jess said, it's a baby between GitHub and TikTok a little bit. It's really cool.
Only a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to exit that out where we were trying to deploy to GitHub. Oh, no, we were in the choose a template section.
Oh.
And what
What's
we're
Netlify
going to do.
Drop?
Yeah, so Netlify Drop is really cool. So they just have this fancy name for it, but what it really is just an ability to drag and drop your code into their little interface, and then it just says, "Boop, I'm done." It's awesome. Let's take a look.
Amazing.
Yeah. Ta-da! Netlify Drop. So here we just drag and drop your site output folder here or browse to upload. So this is a way.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we could just
Boop, boop.
I'm suspicious.
Ah,
So
that's okay.
I know I've said back in my day a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but it can't be this easy. Even GeoCities back in the day was way harder. This I can just I no hands.
Yes.
We can
Yes.
even though one of us is doing all the work. We could
That's
just
okay.
drag the folder here, like it's
Mhm.
Dropbox or something, and it's
That's
just gonna put
right.
the internet on. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do
Yep.
it.
Super dope, super dope. So what I'm going to do is you can, like they said, browse to upload. You can do that button. But what I can do really quickly, just to drag and drop, is to go into my Finder, and I'm going to go over and pull my Finder over so y'all can see. And we have our Hello World folder. And so what I can do is just boop, take it, drag it, and drop it. Let go. Says it's uploading. Please don't refresh. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now we have a new page.
No, we
And
don't. Shush. There's no way that just worked.
it was super quick. It says publish the deploy, aka publish the push that we just did for, and they just gave it some kind of like fake name for you.
Nonsense name.
Yeah, some nonsense name for you so that you can know where it is on the internet. So here's the fake name that they gave us for our site that we just built, and then it says here we can open up a production deploy. And remember, production's just a fancy way of saying like not
For
necessarily a
real.
final version. Yeah, a for real version.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, one language I hear a lot of people use in
Hmm.
working in tech is if you hear broke production,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I love the language broke production because that means, because generally when you're working on a big fancy website,
Yep.
or when you're working on a big fancy application, you'll
Hmm.
have a production version.
Yes.
And I like to think of this as being on stage at a play.
Exactly.
Whereas you've also got the backstage stuff. So a
Hmm.
version where the code isn't being shown to people. And if
Right.
you break production, that means you broke the performance piece, the piece people could see.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay also, right? A lot of us who've been in the field for a long time, there's going to be many days when you break production and you don't, it's not the end of the world. I know you might think it's the end of the world, but it's not the end of the world. It's okay. It happens to everyone at least once in their career, but probably like tens of hundreds of times where we break production. And that's okay.
I
So
found so at my day job, I found that I have avoided breaking production by saying, "Hey, can I have database access? I will only break production once or twice." Um,
that's it though.
and they, you know what? So far, they've been like, "Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, yeah, you could probably get this information via the API. Yeah."
Hmm.
And the API is just sort of we'll come to it when we do the JavaScript boot camp, which will be
Yeah.
coming up later in the year. But an API is sort of like a library circulation desk
Oh, I
for
like that.
getting information back and forth
Hmm.
out of a database
Yep.
or out of another application. So it's just sort of a
Right.
very official, and it's pretty hard to break production via a API if it's well designed.
It is. That's key. Sweet. Okay. Well, y'all see that we have, and see, there's so many people. Just a little side note: there's so many people. I can count many. Ahmad, that's right. Many of us can. Where we broken production, and that's okay. It's totally
Yeah.
okay.
And especially if you're a brand new beginner, if you're a newbie and you manage to break a production website, that's not on you. Like if you're an
Thank you.
intern, really, if it's in your first year and you manage to break production, somebody else on your team screwed up.
Yes. Yeah. Because there should
Uh,
be checks and balances to make sure it doesn't happen.
you probably shouldn't say that if you get in trouble to be like, do you know what? But in your heart, you can hold that.
Yeah. Tell it to yourself. Okay. Yes, we own up to the things that we do, and it's all fine. Don't worry. So, okay. So remember, we pretty much did just the drag and the drop of our code, and then it gave us this really nonsense but awesome little name for where our code is now on this website. So we can press here this big blue button that says Open Production Deploy, and we're going to click it. What's look at this, y'all. Look at this. This is
No,
what
I
I'm
was
going.
waiting for like a loading. I was just like, no, that
Nope.
okay, but
Yes.
what if we change our code?
Okay. And we can do that too.
Can
So,
I
yeah,
Oh, you know I'm just continuing to get more and more demanding.
that's
One of
right.
the
I'm here
big
for it.
questions I get from learners
Yes.
is, how do I put a picture online?
Okay.
So, using Netlify, would I just
Yep.
put it in the folder with the
I think you can. I haven't done it in a while, but I think you can. Yeah, yeah, you should be able to. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm trying
Yes.
to think. I'm hang on. I'm getting my phone out. Oops.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you a picture of something that both does not show where I live and doesn't have any cat butts in it. So it'll take me just a second.
No problem. Throw it in our chat. And yeah, y'all, if y'all take a look at the link I just dropped, y'all should be able to access the website that we just made right now. So if you can access it, throw it in the
No.
chat that you are able to. Yeah, coding is magical.
Where am I? Who am I? So, what's the best way? I don't think I can attach. I hope I can't attach something to the chat. Hmm. Do you have a picture of anything or anything CC0 images? Let me grab a CC0 image from the web.
Sure.
And CC0, and this is a license concept coming
Mhm.
from the good people at help the
You got it.
Creative Commons.
Okay.
That's right, isn't it? I should know this. Yes. So, can we talk very briefly
Yeah.
about copyright and licenses?
Ooh, yes. Yes, we can. So it's important that when you are taking pictures from, if you are just taking pictures from the internet, for example, that you understand copyright and licensing. So if you're going to like add a picture to your website, then you have to make sure that that picture is free of any copyright or licensing errors or issues or what have you. And that there's ways to get free images like on websites called Uplash, for example. I think is one of them that I've used, that don't have any copyright attached to them. But there's lots of different places where you can get copyright free images that you can put on your website and not have any legal trouble in the future, if you didn't tell people about that. Go ahead.
Starlight says this much more concisely
Yeah,
than I usually do. Look,
yeah.
CC0 is kind of like public domain. If you
Oh,
write
nice.
something or you make some music or you take a picture and you say CC0, you're just like,
Mhm.
boomf, off into the ether. But
Mm,
in the private chat, because I think you can
mhm.
click on that link, I've
Yep.
got a link to this org I've never seen before called
Mhm.
Pexels,
Yes.
and they've got some CC0 ones. They also run their own
Nice.
license. And for the folks who've been around in tech a million years, I do not recommend writing your own license.
Mhm.
For those of you just getting started, you will learn in time the dangers of license actually, let me get that XKCD for standards.
Oh, yes.
Hey. Oh, so licenses and standards can be kind of similar.
Mhm.
Actually, if I drop this in, it'll only go to mine. So if we could show folks this.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and actually, I think this is oh, so we can actually use this XKCD about standards. We're allowed to
Ooh,
use this as long so the copyright attached to this is Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial 2.5. So
okay.
this means that we can put this on our website and share it. We can't sell it, but we have to link back to do we have to link back?
We might.
You don't need permission. Oh, look at this. They even let you hot link. I've said you can never do it.
And are you talking about the X
The
KCD or are you talking?
XKCD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and put this one about competing standards up if that's okay.
Wow. Okay. So how would I grab the image itself? Okay,
Yeah.
permanent link to this comic. Okay, image URL. Perfect.
Right? So we can
Nice.
save this.
Yeah. So I'm going to save image as, and then we can put it in our hello world.
Oh, and I've got a hard question for folks who are
Mhm.
brand new to the boot camp. Those of you who've done this before, give us a second. Um, oh, do you know what? Somebody's learner said, "Hey, but we should always try to attribute to the original authors when we can."
Yes.
And I think that's just like a nice thing to, even with CC0, to say, hey, you know where I got this?
Yeah.
It's just like a solid thing to do.
Yes,
But if
always.
we put the picture in our folder
Mhm.
and then we upload the folder, so we upload our changes,
Yep.
should we be able to see the picture on our website?
So, yes, but I think we also have to link the picture to our HTML,
Yeah.
in order to make that happen.
I think
So
you're very right. So what we're gonna do is
Mhm.
effectively create another file. We've got our HTML file, like in the
Yep,
tutorials we've been doing. We've got
yep,
our CSS file, and it doesn't do anything yet.
right.
We're gonna be putting another file in there that's an image, but the
Mhm,
exact same way that when our HTML and CSS weren't linked, they
mhm.
didn't know about each other. Um, but then, sorry, when in the same way when our HTML and CSS weren't linked, they didn't know about each other. When we put an image in here, until we put it on our website as an image element, we
Mhm.
won't know about it. So can we up do we wanna do both at the same time, or do we wanna do them one at a time?
I would say, what do you think?
I rarely think it's
Gotcha. Let's do one at a time. Oh, we gotta do both?
so, does anybody who's not me, because I'm very lazy, how do we do an image? So it's probably gonna be, "You've been so good to say carrot."
Oh,
Uh,
yes. Pac-Man, I know you mentioned.
right?
Yep.
So we started doing CSS today, and the
Yeah.
learners appropriately called me out for it. I always call them curly babies.
Oh, that's
Um,
cute.
it is, but it's gonna sound ru
Oh, not at all.
but the curly braces, so we're gonna start with these carrots, these little Pac-Man babies,
Yep.
pointy babies.
Pointy babies.
And, well, the one thing I really like about us working in VS Code is
Mhm,
when working in the tutorial environment, we gotta start. But here, this is
mhm.
giving us the idea. So it knows it's an HTML file. It
Yep.
knows the kind. I bet if you put I for image, it's gonna give us some suggestions. Matthew, after my own
Ooh,
heart.
love
So
you. Perfect. Thank you,
and then
Matthew.
we wanna add the closing babby.
That's right. The
Is it
closing baby, that's right.
Ahmad, after my own heart. Ahmad says, "Don't forget the alt attribute."
Come
We have
on,
been
Ahmad.
threatening those learners. We've
The
just been
people.
savage, we've been brutal. CBIT has got the whole thing. Say, "I've got you, I've got you, I've got you."
Ooh,
Image
y'all
oh,
are on it.
Starlight after my own heart. Starlight remembers the bad old days where you absolutely had to have that closing slash.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Somebody who might be half as old as me, a joy, a delight. So, image screen, and then we're gonna put the URL of our image, but we don't know it yet.
Well, oh, correct, exactly. We don't know yet because it's local right now.
But it's gonna be in the same folder as
Mhm,
us, so we could just
mhm.
say slash
Yep.
standards.png and it might work.
And it look, it even they're the best.
Okay, so so
Yep.
so VS Code knows what we want. Oh,
Yes.
CBIT way ahead of me.
Y'all are on it.
Don't you dare tab away from that alt text.
Exactly. We are not done. We are not
Oh,
done.
so what's a good alt text for this image?
Yeah. Just as a reminder,
Yeah.
that's our image
So
there.
a 3-panel comic
Love it. Mhm.
showing that any solution to competing standards will result in more competing standards. And
Ah.
CBIT has pointed out that you could put the alt text at the end. I think so you can put it after the image. I think you could put it in front as well, and it won't
Mhm.
hurt anything.
I agree.
Um,
It's not a
but I
yeah.
absolutely agree with you, CBIT, that it is sort of the same way that we put adjectives in a certain
Mhm.
order. We
Mhm.
tend to put these in a certain order. earlier today, I thought that we could put some CSS properties in whatever order we wanted, and I was very wrong.
Oh, yes.
Let's see if I'm wrong again, because one thing I wanna model as many times as I can is
Yep.
being wrong will not hurt you. Y'all are gonna see me be wrong every single day, and those of you who know me in real life get to see me be wrong even more. It's
And that's
horrifying.
okay. That's right. The power is in being wrong and then letting folk help you, right?
Right?
Yeah,
Once you sort of destroy that sort of cringe cop in your head, you are forever free from embarrassment,
exactly.
except for when you wake up at 3 in the morning and remember that thing from school.
That's okay.
So we're gonna save this because
Yep.
we've got that black dot, and Monday,
Mhm.
you told me that black dot is danger.
Exactly. You always want to save. So right now I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go Command S, and it brought up this little thing over here. Oh, that's the wrong. I always have to click onto your VS Code and then do Command S. And look, the
Uh,
black dot is gone.
everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right? Alt text for jokes is so hard.
Yes. Excellent point. All right. Okay. So we now have this saved, and let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Let's see what goes down. So we'll then go back to. Alrighty. So now that we've made those changes, everyone, remember Netlify doesn't know that we made those changes because we only made them on our computer. So what we have to do is go and drag and drop what our new file looks like. So we're going to go into our Finder.
Will it just give us 2 of the same thing?
This will give us two different ones. Let me see if there's a way to.
So, like on GitHub, 2 different repos almost.
Yes,
I'm okay with
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, just
super
for
cool with
now.
that.
Right.
Yeah, because we promised how to deploy, not how to update your
That's
deploys. You can read
right.
about that.
We'll do a little bit more background in remembering how to update on Netlify. I think it's as easy as like dragging the folder into the same bucket, what they would call,
Yeah,
and then updating that way. But I forgot, so I just want to make sure. So we'll just create a clean
everything's
one.
fine.
Yeah, for now. All right, so we're doing our little Netlify drop. So we're going to boop, put this over. Yes,
Oh,
question.
Starlight points out that all XKCD are already alt texted out. You know what?
Yo!
The already have their own alt text.
That's the
I
best.
am not surprised that a great big old nerd in the most positive way,
Mhm.
like the author, Mr. Monroe, would already do that. How nice, how good, how decent.
Good people. That's what we're
We
talking about.
expect it. And remember, well, we don't want anything bad to happen to you. We will show
Mhm.
up at your house and whoop you if you put stuff on the internet with no alt text.
Thank you, because
But
that's not how we
verbally,
roll
softly.
at all.
I mean, this much disappointment.
All right. So now we will boop this in yet again. Do,
Boop
do,
is a
do,
very
do.
technical term, just like
Thank you.
curly babies.
Thank you. And all right, so we have a new URL. This is not a URL yet, but this is the place where they put it. So we
Yeah.
can go and see. Ta-da! It is there. It is there. Look at us. We are the best.
So if you
Excellent.
drop that into the comments and the private chat, I'll be able to share it too, just because we've
I
got
love
folks
it.
across 90 different platforms
You
chilling
are
out with us.
the
Poor
best.
loves.
Thanks, friends.
Amazing. Oh, Cecil asks a really good question. If we were using the GitHub deploy, would it automatically update the site when the GitHub repo is updated?
Ooh, that's an
I think
excellent
we would
question.
probably have to redeploy it in Netlify,
Mm.
just because best practice with GitHub or many
Mhm.
kinds of versions is to really consistently save and push. And you don't always want, so when I'm trying to unbreak something, usually that I broke, I'll
Mhm.
save and push multiple times. Very rarely will it automatically auto deploy every push. I would be pretty surprised.
Right. That's real. Solid, solid. And thank you, Jess, for posting that link so folk can have it.
So this just works. I know
It
this
sure
kind of
works.
feels like cheating because last
Yeah,
time we were like, "Oh, we ran out of time." I think we might just be like done for the day.
we did
So
that.
if you want to put your website on the internet with your
Mhm.
pictures,
Yep.
you put them in a file that your
Yes.
VS Code saved them to. And then, oh, yeah, somebody's saying they might expect a redeploy on merge, but not push.
Mm,
This is a good point. We're going to get into that good point on Monday, if that's okay. So
that's
we're
right.
a very 101 level boot camp. We're just starting out. And we've got Rizelle Scarlett, who's joining us from GitHub. She's so
Woo!
smart, so
She's the
cool.
best. Yeah.
Oh, it's unnecessary. I'm only saying this because our guest from yesterday and I are friends, but significantly cooler than our guest yesterday,
Oh.
Bruce. Oh,
All
no,
the
when we
love.
hang up, I'm gonna go hang out with him and just be like,
Oh,
"Yeah."
nice. I love that.
He would definitely agree with me.
Yeah.
Um, so what we'll do is we're gonna go ahead and end this here. We're gonna leave. But
Mhm.
if I wanted to, just to recap the steps,
Yes.
sign up with my email,
Yep, exactly.
log
And
in.
then yep, log in. And then remember, we're going to go to, let's just like go to a clean little thing. We're going to go to the sites section. Once you get into this big dashboard, you're going to want to go to your site section and press add a new site. Okay.
Fabulous. And from there, we can either import from GitHub if we want to
Yep.
read some documentation, but we can
Exactly.
deploy manually, which is what we
That's
did
right.
last time. And that was
Exactly.
we take our whole folder and we drop it in and we're
Hmm.
free.
Hmm.
Everything's fine.
And that's it. And then you have a site that you can share to everyone, which is so, so, so cool.
Later on, we'll talk about how domain names work and how you can
Mhm.
get a snazzy, like easy. But for now, just on the internet makes me happy
Yes.
enough.
Yes, that is perfectly fine. And when
Amazing.
you are building out your portfolios, also everyone, you can also just share these links to people. They don't need to be fancy domain names or me@me.com, like these really nice looking ones. It could just be this kind of link, like this
It could just be
Netlify.
a messy link. It's
And
fine.
that's okay. And that's totally okay.
There is
So
an expression from
yeah.
back in the States that is the perfect is the enemy of the good. And I see this from
Mm.
learners all the time. We're like, "Oh, I can't put it online yet. It's not perfect." I'm like, "Babe,
No,
this
no,
is
no,
the
no, no.
Bad Website Club. Show us your ugly websites. We will love them as though they were our own."
That's right. That's what we're trying to do here. Make sure we normalize, not being perfect, because who has time to be perfect with the things that we do? We have to a lot of times we have to chug out code and make sure we're meeting deadlines. So, honey, just get it out there. We will all love it regardless. We're all going to continuously, work on it as well. People know that things are a work in progress, and just put your work out there. But that's the most
Right?
important part.
And if anybody's mean to you about your website, we'll come and get them and shake them.
Oh, we will, because that's unacceptable. Not in our house.
But for those of you who are part of the boot camp, don't forget that your homework
Mhm.
is to try and get through as much of it as you can comfortably, but also
Yeah.
to be gentle to yourself
Yes.
because this stuff is hard.
Yes. It
Naya,
is.
if it is not a bother, I will
Yeah.
lovingly hang up on you. What's
That's
what's the
right.
what's the language around this?
Hang up is perfectly fine. Well, yeah, it's been a pleasure, y'all. If you ever need anything, reach out to both myself and Jess. Find us on all the social platforms. But I'll be in the Bad Website Discord as well to help with y'all projects. But it's
Yeah.
been so wonderful. And y'all will see a new colleague of ours on Monday, and his name is Laurent. And so he's going to be teaching y'all about building out an entire project, not only the front end, but also the back end with a
Yeah.
database as
And
well.
I think this is going to be, let me give you the link. I think this is going
Yeah.
to be especially useful for learners.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be,
Starlight, here you
there's
go.
5 different projects in the curriculum we're doing together.
Yes.
We're going to be doing, where am I?
Hmm.
So on Monday
Yeah.
together, um, we're going to be doing this project. We're going to do it in the tutorial environment. I think you've
Nice.
probably got to reshare that in the chat. Oh, actually, if you click on that, people will be
Yeah.
able to see the project.
Yeah.
Um, we're going to be doing this project in the boot camp on Monday.
Hmm.
And this project has a lot of things that are abstracted out.
Yeah.
So we're building a form, but the form in here doesn't really work. So when you push submit, it's missing a back end and it's missing a server. So we're just
Hmm.
sort of we're sort of painting a pretty picture.
Mhm.
Backend is so fun.
It
So
is.
I believe you.
Mhm.
So Laurent is gonna, and the thing is, we're not gonna teach backend yet. It's okay.
Right.
We are definitely doing a JavaScript boot camp later in the year.
Yep.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you how, and we'll give you some code to copy. You can
Exactly.
do this whole project using VS Code and GitHub and deploy it to
Mm.
Netlify. So we're gonna
Mm.
be left with a project that actually launches
Mm.
and not just something that lives in this tutorial environment. And I think that'll be really fun.
That's really exciting.
And we are gonna be using database. We're gonna use
Yep.
Couchbase because y'all are helping.
Yep.
It does any of the tools you touch during this, add them to
Mhm.
your resume or CV. Do it now. So GitHub, you
Oh
you
my
signed up for
goodness.
GitHub.
Yep. Put it on.
I will for real let you go. I will just
Awesome.
bother you all day if I don't.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Thank y'all so much.
Oh gosh,
Thank y'all
thank
so much
you.
for coming. This has been a pleasure, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
I'll see you
Love.
next week.
See ya. Bye, everyone.